Hello, good morning. I sound half dead.
They
I'm
are
tired.
exhausted.
Yeah. Um, I spent like this whole weekend cleaning and I'm just very tired. I'm hella tired.
Dude, I think we both ran ourselves ragged this week. Really.
Yeah. I literally have zero energy. I'm doing this laying down. So,
Lucky.
I'm
Lucky.
so tired. Um, so other than complaining about tired, today we are talking about apps that we can use. Some of them are actually witchy themed apps, and some of them are just apps that we use for witchy things. And yeah, we're going to kind of go over those. I think,
Yeah.
didn't you like play with some apps to see how they were? I was going to, and then I didn't because I'm going to be honest. When it comes to me and my practice, I use very minimal technology. I use books,
Yeah.
I use note paper, like I pens and paper.
I
I
didn't
really
realize how
only,
many they were.
yeah, there's a ton of them. There's no shortage of witchy apps. There, anything
No.
you could need an app for, somebody's made one. Um, I can't really speak to how good they are. I did look at one that was supposed to be like a BOS, like an electronic BOS, and it had like a space for doing shadow work and stuff. But I don't like paying for stuff like that. And most of the ones I saw, they were paid, and the ones that weren't
Yeah.
paid were kind of lacking. So
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't know. Like I said, I really like pen and paper.
see, I do too. I like a good nice like journal or something like that. But like I actually so Fearless is the one who brought this idea up. So when we discussed it, I had started looking on my app store and like I literally just put witchcraft apps or witchy apps and like I didn't realize how many there were until I did that because like the ones I use like astrology ones, moon timing ones, um, something similar to like the Farmer's Almanac and stuff like that. And like I have a tarot card one that I play around with.
Hey, the Farmer's Almanac is super helpful.
Hell yeah, dude. Like it really is. Like I
You
didn't
know what's
realize that.
funny? When I first started practicing, and I was like, what are some good book recommendations? Of course, I got inundated with all the Scott Cunninghams and the Big Blue Book and all this other bullshit that I just was like, I'm not interested in none of this. Um, Come to find out, there's a Llewellyn's series that's like
Yes.
annual, and it has like the different Wiccan holidays throughout the year. And I'm not gonna lie, those were helpful too, even if I wasn't Wiccan, because it was almost like the witchy version of the Farmer's
It is.
Almanac.
It
um
absolutely is. I used to buy them yearly.
and don't get me wrong, I liked them. And if you do celebrate any of them, I actually do recommend them. I'm just not Wiccan. So to me, it was a little too on theme. And
Yeah.
I just ended up switching to the plain Farmer's Almanac. And I
Okay.
love it. To me, it's pretty witchy in its teachings too. Because
Yeah, because like
there's some weird little like some of the ones I've read, they had like weird, like the old traditions of
yes.
planting under the moon or planting under this sign or that sign.
And they
And
still
it was
do
pretty
like
interesting.
they still have that. And it's funny because like you said, they have the Llewellyn one and like there used to be one called the Witch's Almanac. I don't know if it was the Llewellyn one or a different one because it looked like the cover and everything looked just like the Farmer's Almanac and stuff. And it was very helpful, but like you said, it's very Wiccan based. But like the person who told me to use the Farmer's Almanac actually was my husband.
Hmm.
And because he grew up on a farm and stuff. So like the Farmer's Almanac, like you said, it does tell you the moon and what the moon is in and what phase and everything and like what zodiac's going right now and what you should plant and what you shouldn't plant and everything. So it was very helpful. But like I think I saw an app on there that was very similar to that. And I have one on my Kindle actually that is kind of like that. It tells you when to get medical, like what medical help is good under this sign and that sign, or don't do surgeries under this day and that day and this moon and
Yeah.
stuff. It's crazy, but like I find those would be helpful, but I noticed a lot of them are paywall locked. So like you could
Hmm.
get only get very basic information unless you pay like $7 to $10 a month for it. And I was
Hmm.
like, this isn't, how is this helpful for some people? And like you said, the free ones I saw were very basic. They're semi helpful. And like then they again they had an add-on edition if you want to pay for it. And I was like very disappointed because like the one you were talking about, the whole like BOS, like for you to fill in one, that one was really cool, but it was a paid one. And I was like, this one would be so helpful for people who are like, very tech savvy and want to be there. And like, because you can
Yeah.
categorize. Yeah. Like, I was like, how is this fair to tech savvy people? Because this app is absolutely perfect for you to write your own stuff and like choose not to do like me and you all old fashioned paper and pen, you know? Because you can sit there and alphabetize your stuff and everything. I was like, this is awesome, but I'm not paying $20 for an app.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
no.
for me, I find that the apps, I'm trying to think how many apps I actually use. I think there's actually only two and a website that I use. It's not an app. So I tried a lot of the astrology apps, and to be fair, I've yet to find one that I actually like. They're all pretty, in my opinion, kind of cheesy. Very, and I learned astrology from old school astrologers who they're going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yes.
And it seems like a lot of the astrology apps are very, I don't want to say it like it's negative, and it's not toxic positivity. It's not to that level, but it is very love and light versus just saying what the stars are saying. And I'm going to tell you right now, astrology is very brutal.
It
Sometimes
is.
it does not care how you feel. It's going to, I don't know. So I don't like using apps where everything is all happy news all the time because that just
No.
can't be real. Um, so I use Astro Deist, which is, in my opinion, the best free resource for astrology information there is. It is a little complicated. You do kind of have to, there's a learning curve. You have to learn how to find the information you're looking for because it's professional, and
Uh-huh.
it's ran by professionals. If anybody's into astrology, if you know who Chris Brennan is, he works with them. Demetra George works with them. So there's
I like
it's
her.
not it's not really beginner friendly, but you can learn it quickly. You just got to mess around with it. There's oh, I was gonna say there's like videos online to show you how to do it, but I took mine down. So
Oh.
I had a video years and years ago that like showed you how to get your natal chart for through that website. I'll probably do another one, I guess. Um, yeah, but we'll see. So I use AstroDeist for astrology stuff because I have never found an astrology app that I think is good enough.
Yeah.
Um, Now, that's only for Western astrology. I have yet to even try to find apps for like Eastern astrology or Vedic. So, actually, that's a lie. I tried finding a Vedic one, and I'm just going to tell you now, traversing the Vedic astrology world is crazy.
It's
It is
insane.
it's insane. There's tons of people. Basically, anytime I've tried to look into Vedic astrology, it's just like, hey, do you want a reading from one of these 8,000 people? No, I don't. Um,
Art pass, thank you.
I don't. I don't like
Hmm.
getting readings from other people because I do it myself, and to me, it's just kind of weird. But so yeah, with that, if I was to give a tip on where to get your astrology information, it would just be learning how to use AstroDeist. And then let me get the name of it because I think it's pretty plain. I don't the other astrology app I use, it's not actually astrology, it's just a moon calendar. And I think it's actually just called moon
Moon calendar.
calendar. It's called moon phase calendar. And basically it has like when there's like a permanent push notification, there's a permanent push notification. There's just I never don't know what percentage of lumination the moon is at, and
Yeah.
that when I'm planning my workings, that's pretty much what I look at. I look at timing. If I'm not going to do a full astrological timing where I'm looking at planet placements, I will just work with the moon energies. To me, it's the easiest way to go about it. So I can just pull down on my phone and I can see, like right now, it's a waxing crescent at 15%. And I can just, use that to decide when I'm going to do the working.
And
Um,
see, if I need to know, I just let you screenshot it because I can always tell when you screenshot something and send it to me. I always see in your thing what the moon is. So I'm like, I'm cool. I know what it is today.
yeah.
Ah, dude, like, because I did. I saw, and there's a bunch of apps for like spells, and like, there's a lot of apps for love spell. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, a lot of them and stuff, and like, I kind of noticed that, and like, when we had gone over it together, there was like dark magic and light magic, and I was like, okay, so like, it's very categorized and stuff. Like what was one? The one that caught my eye. Like there was two. One was Wiccan white magic and Wiccan black magic. I didn't understand that, but I couldn't get into them to even look at them because you have to pay for a pres subscription first before you can even get into it. I was confused, very confused on that one. So
so the only other uh I guess witchy app I use is the Rider Waite Smith Tarot Deck app, I guess.
I saw that one.
Now on there is an option to like draw a card of the day in the app. I would never use that part. I don't know why. I feel like you have to be touching the deck.
Yeah, no.
I've when I was very new, I kind of played around with it to see how accurate it was. And I was just like, this isn't working for me. This is wild.
Because
So,
I haven't well on my Kindle I have an Oracle deck app, and like I got it years ago. It's just been on there, and like I didn't like how it felt. Like it was just weird because it was like I don't know, it was just like randomizing things, and I noticed most of the cards were being randomized alphabetically and stuff. So I stopped
mm,
using it. It sits on my Kindle app on my Kindle just collecting dust for like the last 8 years. Because I don't use it because like I didn't like it. Like I used it and played around with it, and I was like, it doesn't feel right. Like it didn't. Because it had the same option of like it would notify me every morning on my Kindle that it had pulled the card for me. And then I noticed all of them were just starting alphabetically. It wasn't a shuffle or a random one. They were going by alphabetically through the deck.
mm,
So I was like, no, I don't like this. But like for me, like it's kind of weird because it's not witchy, but I have my my Catholic apps and I have the
mhm,
saints calendar, so I can see what day saint is and things like that. Like, okay, today's Saint this and or today's the feast of this person and I can use it in that way.
And see, another thing too is I'm not one of those people that like wear a sign on my forehead or on my house that like, hey, I'm a practicing witch. To me, it's a little on the nose. It's a little corny. It's a little tacky. I don't judge people for doing it. Like I love it. If you like it, I love it. Do what makes you happy. It's just not my style.
No.
Like so I would prefer to use apps that might be seen as more mundane, but still serve the purpose. Because every witchy app that I've seen that was like themed to being witchcraft, it was too much. It either wasn't a free resource, and I'm big on free resources.
Yes,
I think that other than buying books, I'm not really big on paying for something that I won't own. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not going to
exactly.
own it, I don't want to buy it.
It's not
So
physical.
yeah. I mean, even if, as long as I own it, that's my rule. It's like if I'm going to
Hmm.
pay for it, I'm going to own it. I'm not big on subscriptions to shit that I don't own.
Yeah.
So I stick to the two things for astrology, which is the Moon app and Astro Dias website. I use the Rider Waite Smith tarot deck for definitions because I'm not gonna lie, I don't use tarot often enough to like memorize all of the cards backwards and forwards and it gets crazy. So I use a reference for that. Whether that's the little white book that came with it or whether that's the app, it just depends on what's easier and quicker at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll use that. But if I am using anything else on my phone, like say I need to jot down a working or something, I will use notes and I'll use shorthand to where if you look at it, you're not going to know what it is.
No.
Um, but I do. So that's all that matters. And I don't need to pay for or use a specific app that's like, hey, this is where I keep all my witchcraft notes.
No.
It's just in my regular phone notes. And then when I don't need it anymore, I delete it. And yeah, I think it's going to depend on you as a person. Like, are you the type of person that wants everything to be like super on the nose? Like, I want a Book of Shadows app on my phone. If you want that, you know, you're going to have to find that
Maybe
because
back in the day for me, I would have like when I was younger and not a parent and stuff, I would have been, oh, I'm all about this. But I was not in the age of apps and stuff. Like touch phones came out after I was a mother and all that stuff. So like maybe back then I would have absolutely loved that stuff because like back then when I was younger and all that, it was like I was a in your face witchy goth kid. So like it would have been cool. But now like I'm too old to be blend like I need to
and
blend
see,
in.
that's kind of a good point because well, one, yeah, a lot of us who've been practicing for a while, we're taught to not make a spectacle of ourselves and
Hmm.
to kind of blend in or be in the background. But I feel like a lot of the witchy apps are, what's the word, marketed,
Yes.
pushed towards younger people because
Yes.
I can tell by the art style. A lot of times it's very cartoony and whimsical looking, and my stuff that I use is very serious. Like the books I have look like textbooks.
Yes.
um like my practice looks more serious because I take it more seriously. It's not cosplay to me. I'm not looking for cutesy little cards. I'm not looking for cutesy apps. I'm not looking for books that are colorful and have tons of pictures. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not even looking for a book that tells me how to do a working. I'm looking for background information so that I have the education to do my practice the way I see fit
Yeah.
and just have some backup, because not everybody's going to be able to remember everything. So sometimes you need some references. But as far as finding a complete app that's just like it's going to function as your book of shadows, it's going to function as your astrology information, it's going to function as help with your divination practice. I've yet to see one that does all of those things that isn't
Yeah,
specifically trying to get your money.
exactly, dude. Like I said, like maybe 25 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I am so down for this app and have like all 50 apps. But like you said, there's not one that caters to everything across the board. And if there is, it's a paywall lock, like you got to pay for it before you can even look at it. And it's like, no. So I keep very little things, and like I said, the ones I use constantly aren't even witchy. They're my Catholic apps.
Mm-hmm.
They're like it's my rosary app and then the saints calendar because it'll tell you that month, that week, that day, and like tell you what each saint's for and like so I use all of those. And if someone were to look at my phone behind like over my shoulder and see that, they're like, oh, she's just a weird Catholic. Cool. Bye. Because, there's people who like to look over your shoulder in public all the time or when you're at someone else's house. I get that all the time. So I'm like, it's just me being a weird Catholic. Because even around here, if you say you're Catholic, it might as well have said you were a witch or a Satanist.
Mm-mm.
So, like, but yeah, like I said, maybe a few, like 20 years ago, I would have been down for all these apps because, like, I was always on the go and I did always have ideas or things and stuff. And, like, an on the go BOS would have been amazing for me because, like, I never had a pen or a paper in my purse or my bag when I was, like, out and about and, like, just randomly sitting there. And, like, I'm not going to ask a friend, hey, do you have a little pen and a paper? I mean, I know there
I
was time.
would.
I know there's times like I would write things down on cocktail napkins at work. I'd be all, oh my God, I have this idea. And I'd write it down and then stuff it at the bottom of my bag. And like days later, be all, what was this for again? So, like,
So another point that I have is um I don't usually have my phone in my hand while I'm doing workings. So
no.
um when we were getting prepared to do this episode, I was kind of thinking like, who the hell is using their phone
Yeah,
while you're
no, that
doing
was
working? Um,
was his like he asked the other day what we were talking about or last night. And he's like, who's sitting there pulling an app while they're at their altar? I've never seen you do
yeah,
that
I don't
ever.
even. It's weird. It would be weird if I even took my phone in my altar room. It's very rarely even in there, and the amount of electronics in there is minimal.
Very
So,
minimal.
like, there wouldn't even be a TV in there if I didn't also use it as a guest room. Period. I didn't even want a lamp in there. I would use candles. Like it was very
Yeah,
minimal.
think about it. This
Minimal.
room, this room doesn't have anything except for the light in there. Other than that, there's no electronics in this living room, which is my working room.
Yeah.
I have nothing in there except for the light that came with it.
Now don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to people doing that. Do what works for you. To me, it feels like a distraction. And if I'm trying to focus on a working, I'm trying to focus on the fire that I have going or the candle that I have lit or whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm
Yeah.
mixing up, whatever I'm paying attention to. I can't keep stopping to look at a phone or
No,
to stop and research something. I feel like if you're about to be doing a working, you should
it should.
already be secure in what you're doing. You should know what you're about to do, and you shouldn't have to keep stopping to check a reference.
I think the only time I've brought my phone in there during a working was I needed to take pictures and send them to you of
Yeah.
something, and that's the only time.
You know what? And that's a good point. So I guess another phone app I use is my phone camera app. this the generic one that came installed on the phone.
Exactly.
And that is only used when I'm doing a working for or with
Right.
someone.
Exactly.
So if I'm doing a working with somebody, I will, if there's something funky going on with the flames, or if the wax is doing something, or if I'm getting some kind of sign that I think I need to share, I will take pictures or video and send that to whoever needs to know. But other than that, my
I just
phone, if I'm doing it working by myself for myself, my phone is
like
not even with me. It's
exactly.
yeah.
No, yeah, yeah, because the only time I've ever brought my phone in there is during a working with you or for someone else. Other than that, it's over there in the other living room with all the other humans and the charger. But the only time I've ever done that is to send you pictures or whoever I'm doing the working for pictures. Other than that, like I don't because like I've already researched my working. I've already had everything out. I've already had everything set up. Everything's done, set, and ready to go within like that day or the day before. That way I'm not being distracted. And if I need to be, there's the book that I wrote it in right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm not using an app to pull it up. Because even if I write it on my notepad that's on my phone, I will transfer it onto a piece of paper in there. I'm like, okay, my checklist. Cool, cool. I have this. This is set up. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the age of technology just blows my mind. Like I get it. There are a lot of tech using witches these days, and I've noticed that online a lot and stuff. And like, there's a lot of astrologers because like, there's this one guy that I love to watch astrology wise, and he partners with I forget what it's called, Astro. It's not Astro Cafe. It's someone else. But like,
Ew.
I've noticed like a lot of astrologers use apps a lot and pimp out
Mm.
apps a lot these days.
I feel like that's lazy.
Yes.
I feel
Like,
like it's lazy and you're letting the app do the work for you. I feel like those people don't actually know how to do astrology. They just know how to read some astrology information. You have to know how to look at a chart and read that shit. I don't, so I, sorry, this is something I'm a little passionate about. So, when it comes to apps, I've looked at a ton of astrology apps, and most of
yeah.
them attempt to do the work for you. However, a lot of it is, it's not quite as intricate as if you know what you're doing. So for example, um, there's one, I want to say it's Astro Cafe. There's one, it's one of the bigger ones that I know it used to be really problematic and would have accuracy issues. I believe some years ago there was like an overhaul of the website and it's supposed to be more accurate now. I don't know. Um, I can't really speak on it because once I found out that initially it was so incorrect, I never messed with it again.
Oh, yeah.
So with AstroDeist, you have to go on there and you have to type in your location, date of birth, time of birth, all of that. And it just gives you a plain chart. But you can choose how intricate it is. You can choose like the plain dozen or so placements that most people are typically like familiar with, or you can go way further and look at like the Pleiades and um, other just positions that most people aren't going to be familiar with. Like there's three different Lilith positions.
Yes.
And you know, unless you've done the studying to know this stuff, you're going to get a very generic reading. If you're using the apps that just when you type in the information, instead of giving you a plain chart, it gives you like pages and pages of just writing. That shit is all written by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people knew that, but that is all written by AI and it's very generic because they basically do it like this, where it's like Sun plus Taurus equals this paragraph, Moon plus Pisces equals this paragraph. And then they just throw those paragraphs together per your placements. However, a real astrologer is going to look at it as a whole and see how they interact with each other, see how close they are to things, because some astrologers are going to be like, okay, this is within aspect. But then there's people like me who, one of my favorite teachers is Rick Levine, and he believes in harmonics, where if it's on the chart, it affects everything else in the chart. So it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if it's in a specific aspect or not, it's still going to affect it. It's his the way he says it is something like, if you live in the same house, you're still going to be affected by it, even if it's if the other person's in a different room. And the closer they are to you, the more they're going to affect you. If they're beating on the wall in the next room over, you're going to hear it more than if they're 2 or 3 rooms over, but you're still going to hear it. So it's things like that where you take into account the bigger picture. So if
Yeah.
somebody, I feel like if somebody is using apps, they're taking a shortcut, and it's most likely less accurate.
Yes. Yeah, dude. It's like it's just crazy because like you type in astrology for app stores
Oh,
and
there's tons.
so many, so many. And then like I said lately, like there's a lot of astrologers that push apps that they're affiliated with or partnered with. And like, what do you call it? Like, that's why, like, when I will watch something, I will text you and stuff, or I will look it up myself because it's like, okay, I get what you're saying and I know what you're saying and all that, but are you understanding it or are you just like reading it because it came on the app? So, like, I
Mm-hmm.
will either Google it myself and like read into it, or I will text my handy dandy astrologer. So, it's just one of those things like that, like, I don't know, like, I guess like the first time I actually like noticed it the last couple weeks, especially on the Tiki Talks, what do you call it? I guess it made me sad because I was like, well, Angel sits here and works so hard to do her astrology charts and like break it down and all this. And these people are literally just putting something in and pushing a button. And it's not even like,
And then reading what they're told.
yeah, and it's like it's not work. Like I get you want everything quick and easy, but there's people out there like you who sits there and like it takes you days to do someone's
No, it
chart.
doesn't.
Okay, when you first started, like it took you a day or two.
When I first started, it took me like hours. Now it takes me like half an hour from start to finish.
Yeah, because you're that good at it now. And like I guess it just annoyed me because like it, people like you who actually take the time and effort and all that to break it down and like interpret everything properly. And then you've got these people who are just pushing buttons in like 2 seconds they have something and they're reading it. And like you said, it's AI generated. So it could be half right, half wrong, not even the right purpose. You know,
And the
I
thing
don't.
is, even if it's right, it's still generic.
Mhm.
It's not actually catered to you, because it doesn't take into account that you're a separate person. Every person that has a Taurus sun is going to get the same information. Whereas I've done readings for 3 different Tauruses who were entirely different people, because other placements affect how each placement manifests in you.
And same with us
So,
Libras. You've done several Libras, and how different are we from each other?
yeah.
Like we're completely different and stuff. Let's see. Fearless wants to know if people use the apps for a learning tool if they don't have access to books.
Um, that one's kind of, it depends. And I would probably look for websites versus apps, because apps are typically, from what I've seen, obviously I have not installed every single one, but we did go to the app store and just kind of look around, see what they were. I don't think apps would be a good place for learning, strictly because they're very generic and the information you're going to get is lacking. So if you can't get books, I would suggest either PDF books on your phone. I have tons of those. Highly suggest it because yeah, there's times where you can't afford to get books. I've been there. The whole first like 5 years of my practice, I was broke and
We shared
couldn't
a lot of
get books.
PDF books.
Yeah, there was tons of PDF books and I still have them. If anybody is interested, I have a ton of PDF books. Just let me know which like what kind of books you're interested in and I will send them to you.
Yeah.
Um I recommend that or websites. Make sure you check who's publishing them, make sure you check the information, cross-reference, all of that. Um, and then when you can get books because a good book is going to have where they got that information from. And I do want to say one thing because I used to be really adamantly like, if there's no information in the back on where you can do more reading on the subject, then I would take it as kind of sus. But I feel like as long as the person has proper education, now I'm kind of like, I think I'll take your word for it, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
It's all going to depend on your comfort level, the information you're getting, where you're getting it from. But as far as using apps for education purposes, I've yet to see one that was helpful.
Yeah. I haven't either because like some of the ones that we were discussing about like spell like workings and stuff, it's literally just someone else's working. There's no background information.
And almost
Uh
every single one I saw was Wiccan. So I mean,
yes.
if you're Wiccan, here's the thing. I'm not Wiccan. My practice has no parts of being Wiccan. So none of this affects me one way or the other. But I will say that if you are Wiccan, if you practice Wicca, you have it the easiest out of everybody who practices because the information for Wicca is so prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the books that witches get pushed are Wiccan based. Most of the apps that we've seen were Wiccan based. So if that's what you're trying to learn, that might be a little bit easier. But
Yeah, exactly.
if you're practicing voodoo, hoodoo, Santeria, or brujeria, anything like anything that's not Wicca, right? You're gonna struggle a little more because
Yeah.
it's more secretive by nature. They chose to make it harder to learn because some of them are closed practices, some of them are just they very much are still what's the word? Like people still judge them. So they
Hmm.
still are very much hidden. They're not out running through the woods with sparklers talking about I'm a little fairy witch. This isn't happening in my community. My
No.
community is very much like, what are you talking about? A witch? No, I'm just a
No,
good little Catholic girl.
exactly. That's just how we roll. But yeah, like
We just really like candles. It's fine.
love it. It's like being in the cathedral and at mass on Sundays.
Right. We love Jesus.
Oh, my necklace broke this week.
Yeah, because that's a bunch of bullshit.
My rosary necklace broke. I was so mad. I didn't even notice it until like it fell in my lap.
But yeah, but no, I actually think that learning via apps, no. Like if I
Yeah.
were to just give an honest answer, I would just be like, no, don't do it. I've never seen anything in an app that I hadn't learned more in depth elsewhere.
Yeah.
Um, Plus some of it was just very wrong. Some of it had no backup information. Like, okay, you want me to do this, but why? And there was never a why. Whereas most of the time, if you have a good book or PDF of a book, if you can't get physical ones, there's so much information in there. Sometimes too much information. Like I didn't ask you
Yeah.
all that.
I had one
Like,
why question and you gave me like 30.
there's been so many times where I was trying to look something up and I was going through books and I'm just like, that's too much information. Like I didn't need all
My
that.
poor brain.
Yeah. But I'd rather have too much information than too little. So
Exactly.
it is
But
what it
yeah,
is.
because one of those apps caught my eye and it said Witch Academy, learn how to be a witch. I was
Was it a
like, oh,
game?
no, it actually
Oh,
wasn't. It
you know what?
wasn't.
There used to be an online school for witchcraft.
Yeah, it's actually still around.
Oh,
I know what you're
I joined it and then I left because
secret something or other. It's still there because I use
I
the
don't
shop
remember
still.
I don't remember what it was called. I could probably find it, but
Yeah.
it was pretty legit. Like they had classes set up with different teachers, different subjects, different levels of the subjects. But that's when I found out the source material really matters because I was taking an astrology class and the one book that you needed to take it was the only astrology book you'll ever need. And we all know that I have a bone to pick with that. So
Dude, yes.
and I don't hate on the book as much as I used to. That book is extremely helpful, but it is far from the first book that I reach for when I need astrology information. And it is that title is the worst title of astrology book I've ever read. So, yeah, rant
Yeah,
over.
yes, because here's all the witches. Because let's see, we've got the Wiccan Academy, Witch Academy, the Magic Path School. Let's see, Temple of Witchcraft. There's another one I remember. It's called Sacred something because I was part of that for a little bit when it
There was,
first
I think the one that I went to, it was like Magic Circle something.
came. That's another one I remember Magic
And
Circle.
unfortunately, basically, when I was going there, there was some kind of kerfuffle with the people who ran it.
Yes,
And and it just got messy. And I think somebody was getting into like the students' information, was like
they were
stealing students'
stealing. Yes,
information, and
because
they were trying to get us to follow them where they were going. I guess they were
yeah,
going to go teach somewhere else.
they
And
put it in the
this was happening while I was enrolled and currently taking a
yes.
class there. And I got an email from one of the teachers like, oh, I'm going to be teaching over here now. And then
Yeah,
basically, I got another email from the administration saying, like, hey, I'm
this
sorry
is
this happened and all this. But I was pissed because I'm like, this is my personal information. So
because
I just dropped it.
they were also posting in the student group thing, like they were doing something like it was in the actual like class chat too because I was taking a class and I got the email from like two two people and then one from the actual school and then it started in the classroom chat as well in one of the classes and stuff and like it became a whole thing to where I just like I was like, if this is gonna be dramatic and like stuff like that, I want my money back. I want like I just don't want to be part of this because like it started interrupting class discussions and everything. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I don't even think they're around anymore, actually.
I don't know. I don't care. That I feel like now don't get me wrong, I don't think it was everybody involved's fault, but I feel like you have when you are doing something on that scale where you have thousands of uh students and you have dozens of teachers and all of this stuff, it was pretty formalized. So I felt like
Mm-hmm.
there should have been some kind of like safety protocols in
You would
place
think
for
so.
if there was some kind of falling out. So it really
Yeah,
made me mad. It really made me mad. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this because though the classes are free, the reading materials and stuff aren't. And I had
or
already invested money into these books and stuff that I needed for these classes just for it to be sketchy and have random people have access to my email address
yeah.
and stuff like that. And I was just like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. So I
That's
unenrolled.
I blocked those emails as soon as I got them. I was like, why are you emailing? Like re trying to recruit people while we're all still in class and everything. Like it was just a whole kerfuffle. Because I think there was a similar situation from like that on the sacred, I forget what it's called, sacred something classes as well. Like they started trying to poach students to be teachers at the school they were secretly forming behind the running people's backs and stuff. And like they were starting to like sieve money and like ask for donations to start their own thing as well. I guess it was just a whole thing because like this was like 2015 or 16 when that happened. And I got real mad because some of those classes aren't free. Some of them are like
No, all the
$20.
classes, nope, all the classes are free there.
No, the other one I'm talking about, like they're $20 and stuff, and like,
Well, the one that had the big issue was the magical school, magical circle school.
yeah.
And yeah, there's still a thing. Like I'm looking at their stuff right now. There's still a thing. I guess they got it together, but I don't think I would give them another shot because like I said, I was having people email me. It was very weird.
It
I
catchy
didn't
did.
like it. So be careful with the websites you use too. Um, other than that, I don't now listen. It has been like 10 years since I have dabbled with this, so they might have got it together since then. I will say this because I do have one good thing to say is not all of their classes are Wiccan based.
No.
So they do have classes on Wicca, but if you are looking for free education in the witchcraft world, I know several practitioners who have recommended this website. In fact, that's how I found it was some of the older practitioners that I was learning from at the time recommended it. They had went and done classes there too. So um if they have all of their security stuff in place now,
Please now.
I do recommend some of their classes. They have um divination classes, they have astrology classes because I wasn't even taking a witchcraft class. I was taking an astrology class. Um they have folklore classes. They do actually have classes that teach workings where they have group workings and group ceremonies and stuff like that too. That was something I was never interested in, but it is there if you're interested in it. Um, and I know that this was supposed to be about apps, but again, my stance on it is apps are very minimal, whereas a website is going to have a lot more built into it. It might not be as, user friendly as an app, but you get what you get.
Exactly. Oh, the one I'm
uh,
talking about is Sacred Mist Academy.
okay, I've never heard of that one,
Yeah.
but the one so if you guys are interested, I do your due diligence because I haven't been here in a long time, but I tentatively would slightly recommend the magical circle school too if they got all that situated, but it's been many years, so I assume they have because they're back functional. They had temporarily shut down while that was going on,
Yeah.
so I think it's good now. Maybe.
I'm hoping this one was good because I was taking the herbalist class. Like I had done my actual herbalism thing and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do something for witch stuff too, not just medicine. And I took that one. Like, I really loved that class, but dang, it got pretty, pretty like sketchy there for a while. Like other people, like teachers wanting donations so they could start their own branch and classes.
Mm-mm.
I was like, no, I'm already paying you all money a month, for this. Thanks.
Learn to trust your intuition. If it feels fishy, leave it alone.
Yes. So,
um So today's episode is going to be wrapped up here shortly because I don't feel good. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Speaking of don't feel good, I just wanted to say the reason that we were gone for so long is um, because of me.
yeah.
We are big advocates for mental health here, and I have been on a mental health journey my whole life. And as of recently, they were kind of like playing with different medication
Mm.
combinations for me, and it's been hell. It
Yeah,
has been
so
absolute hell.
last week was I'm sorry, a sister needs me first before anybody else.
Yeah,
I did.
last week things kind of came to a head, and if I had done this show, I would have been crying the entire time.
It was
It would
a
have been
sister
so
needs
bad.
neighbor.
It would have, yeah, it was very much a I just need to have a day to where my friends and family are there for me because I
Yes.
was feeling it down in the dumps really bad. So, um, yeah,
Yes. Yes. It
if
was
your
a
meds work for you, if you are on meds and your meds are working for you, please take them. But if you are on meds and they are making you feel worse, or if they are not working for you, please talk to your doctors and do what's right for you. And
yes.
for me, it was not listening to them at the time. So I had to do what I had to do because I was like depressed for like it was going on 3 weeks and I could not get out of my funk. They had tried me on like three different combinations of psych meds and things were getting worse. So I had to basically come off of them. And
Yeah.
yeah, so now I'm basically only on an emergency psych med. And yeah, but
Oh, I may need
but
to borrow
we
that
take
this week.
mental
Yes.
health pretty seriously over here. So if we're ever missing, we will always tell you why. I'm not ashamed of it. Things happen, life happens, and
Thing.
you know,
Life just lives. And
yep.
sometimes, like, as much as we love you all, sometimes we need to ditch you all just to have one-on-one sister time
I
to
promise
get
you,
over it.
you would have been on that live for about 30 seconds before you're like, I'm leaving. This girl's tripping. I was tripping.
Hey,
I was tripping pretty bad. So
it's all good. You needed to have that moment, so it's all good.
but yeah, I wish I was able to tell you like, hey, this is a good app where you can go learn this. But honestly, I've never seen a good witchy app that I was like, wow, I learned something here today. I didn't. It's unfortunate because I've noticed that a lot of people look for apps
Mm,
as an easy way to access information. But unfortunately, most apps are super focused on one thing. And if you're going to use apps for information, I would look for a dozen individual apps. Get a
yeah.
really good astrology app. Um, I can't give you one because
My favorite app
I
is
don't
not
think they're good.
even a witchy app. It's a plant identifier. My
Yeah.
my plant
Maybe.
apps are my favorite. So what do you call it? My my herbal apps and my plant finder, like identifiers and stuff like that. Those are my favorite to use for things because like I'll randomly find something like I randomly found a new plant growing in my yard and I didn't even know what it was. So I used that and I was like, oh, I can use it for this, and this working and that, and that. And I was like, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're probably going to need a plant identifier if you're into astrology. I don't know any good astrology apps. You can take a website and add a shortcut to it on your homepage. So it kind of looks like an app, but it takes you to a website. I would recommend doing that for AstroDeist because you're not going to get better free astrology information. If you're into tarot, I recommend getting a tarot app that's very bare bones. Find if you have the Rider Waite Smith system, there's plenty of apps out there for you to use that as a reference if you don't have your book with you and you don't memorize all of them. Um, yeah, but that's what I would do is look for the root source information of what you're trying to do. If you're specifically looking for like how do I do workings based on this or that the other, unfortunately, books are where it's going to be because unless you practice Wicca, there's just not a ton of information out there, at least not on the level of Wicca where there's going to be apps and websites and people talking about it on TikTok and things like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they
Mm.
did a whole campaign to be the front runner of this, and boy, didn't they.
Yes. So, so I mean, again, maybe 20 some years ago, I would have been all for the apps, but I am a pre-app person. I turned 20 pre-apps, so like I didn't grow up in that. So it was always books and people and websites because, websites were the big thing.
Well, I just want to go on record as saying I'm not anti-apps. I just think they're
No.
lacking. I think they're very lacking. I've never found one that gave me information that I took to a working, is my
Yeah.
point. Is if you're looking for information that's going to help you with your workings, I've never found an app that I thought would be good with that, other than if you're just looking for timing. Like if you just need to know timing, get a moon app, get an astrology app to where there's a star map one. It's not
Oh, yeah.
it's not even like it literally just you open it and whatever way you point it, it shows you what like what places like placements are there. You can point it at the floor and it'll tell you what's on the other side of the planet. so
That is cool.
so there's things like that that I think are extremely helpful. But if you're looking for something that's going to tell you like how to do a specific working or how to make specific ingredients for workings or um, how to do specific types of ceremonies or things like the rituals, I would actually actively avoid apps because one, they're all going to be Wiccan based, and two, they're going to be very generic and based on somebody else's information. Get the root information, and unfortunately, that be books.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, if you are looking for digital books, and I have hundreds of them, like I have a
She's the
ton.
PDF queen.
So if you're looking for digital books because you can't get your hands on physical ones, join our Discord, not Discord, join our Patreon and just send us a message and we'll make sure you get access to that.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the PDF books I have cover a wide range of things and they are
Yeah.
very specific to witchcraft. They are very everything from working with bodily fluids to
What was the one that you sent me? The narco witchcraft?
yeah, I got all the fun stuff.
All
So,
the fun stuff, dude. It's cool. Like, yes. So,
yeah.
if you're looking for
Hey,
it,
I
tell you
love
about
that
it.
book. That is
It's
one
a
of
good one, actually.
I
I've
have
read it
learned
twice.
there's sometimes you'll come across a little book, right? And it's literally little. I have a
Yeah,
physical copy of that book. It's a thin, small book, but the information in it is so good. So good.
it's a
I
good
loved it.
one.
I was like, thank you. I needed to know that. And there,
I
I
read it.
can tell you right now, there has been more times where I had a short to the point book that had better information in it than some big old 4 inch thick
Yes.
book that thinks it's, got every bit of information you could possibly need in it.
See,
Sometimes I don't need all that. I just need you to get to the point.
that book actually explained a lot of stuff that I saw growing up. It was
Yeah.
never explained. It was like, just
I
leave
was
it
like, oh,
alone.
that's who that was.
Yes. I was like, oh, because I would always get told by
Yeah, I've
my
seen that
tia.
statue before.
I would get told by my tias or the little viejitas in the neighborhood, don't mess with it, don't touch it, don't, no explanations, just don't touch it. And I was like,
Yeah.
these assholes didn't tell me what this was, and now I know. So very informative on my end. So
But yeah, I think that's all I got for apps.
I think so too, because like
I'm
you
sorry.
said,
I wish I could have been more helpful, but I actually think that what we said today was good information. I think that there are some useful apps, but they are going to appear more mundane than you think.
exactly. They're gonna blend in very well.
Yep.
So there's that. Ugh. I think that's all we got.
Yeah. It's definitely all I got.
Me too.
But I do think it was a good topic to discuss because apps are very common now. There's an app for everything. But unfortunately, witchcraft is still kind of in the shadows, at least real witchcraft, not the religion Wicca. So,
Yeah.
um,
There's a buttload of wicked ones if you want to look at those.
yeah. And, to be fair, Wicca used a lot of stuff from other sources when they were building up their practices. So there is that to take into account too. But,
Yeah.
do what
Eh,
you want to do with your practice. I
ugh,
actively avoid Wiccan information when I can. So,
I think we both do.
yeah, it waters down a lot of things. So,
Mhm.
anywho, I don't think I have anything else to say.
I think
I'm
we good for
tired.
the day.
Yeah. So I think we're going to go and we will see you next week. And this was a recommendation by our follower Fearless and our friend, and we love her very much. So if there is any other suggestions you guys have for topics, let us know, whether that's in the
Yeah.
comments, in our Discord, or on our Patreon. There's plenty of ways to talk to us. So just reach out.
Yes.
All right, you guys. I will see you guys. Well, we